It's Oopsie Time! Welcome back everybody to another episode of Oopsie Time, the part of the episode where I tell you all the horrific things I got wrong in the last episode. However, I missed the last one because I was at VidCon, so we're going back for 2 episodes, a double Oopsie Time. Oh, normally I have my sister here to help me. If only there was someone else in the room. Hey!
Hola.
This is my friend Corpse Husband.
Hola, yo soy cadáver de esposa. Mucho gusto.
He's part Mexican, which is useful because I might have made some horrific racist comments. So I have a friend to offset them if that was the case. So the first video I made some mistakes on is called The Worst Country in the World. I don't make this easier for myself. Indonesia came up.
That's a very bland flag.
As you can see, I was roasting Indonesia's flag. Some people had some good points here. Boyinaband. Indonesia has the laziest flag I've ever seen. Japan. Nervously sweating in the background. I think this is actually more lazy than Indonesia's flag. Have you seen it?
No, I don't know anything at all.
I'm glad you're here today. Indonesia at least had to paint the whole thing. Japan's just like blobbed on.
They quite literally have a point.
Then there was the Indonesian flag. That's the laziest flag I've seen in my life. Entirety of Poland wants to know your location. I'm seeing some similarity here.
This track is in order. Or a war.
Monaco, can you see the difference in flag there?
Not really.
I think the Monaco one is slightly smaller. They were like, oh, I gotta paint the whole rest of this red bit. Nah, slice.
I always assume they're like the same size.
Well, Singapore's alright. You can see Monaco's smaller. Yeah, ratio 4:5 versus 5:8 or 2:3. Sorry, Monaco.
Forgettable design.
Poland. Boyinaband tries to bully Indonesia for having a crappy flag. Libya pre-2011.
These are great comments.
I know, I love these.
What? You have this whole country of all these proud people. How are they proud of that?
Imagine just going to the UN or whatever. I don't know if Gaddafi would have particularly gone there. However, hypothetically, rolls up to the UN, all these people with their great flags. That's a solid flag.
That's solid.
So everyone's got these flags, and then you come up and put that on the flagpole.
I guess we'll include you. You know, like, you can come, I guess.
There's probably some horrific reason why it's this color, isn't there?
The murder of like millions of people.
Yeah.
It's just green.
Sorry. Did a whole video on the worst country in the world without mentioning North Korea once.
Oh man.
The divorce rate in countries like Sri Lanka is so low because they're not allowed to just divorce like we are. In Sri Lanka, people can only seek a divorce by blaming the other person of adultery, impotency, or malicious desertion. Impotency is a reason for divorce.
I've heard of that before.
That's a fair point. It's not because they think they're better than everyone, it's because they legally cannot do it. Sorry, Sri Lanka. Oopsie! Me living in Syria, and I'm all like, finally we get some credit for the shit we live, yays, but then nothing happens. So sorry for not mentioning Syria and roasting you. They're going through
I'm
enough.
still up on Libya's flag. Like, their entire flag is an oopsie in itself. Like,
Right, being from Bangladesh, I'm heavily offended our country didn't make it onto this list. A lot of people upset that I didn't roast their countries there. Oopsie. Fun fact, I've mentioned Tuvalu. Tuvalu is this tiny little island country. There's the map of it. That's how big it is.
looks like Libya's flag with text.
Tuvalu's income comes largely from the .tv top-level domain. So any site that you visit that uses .tv, like Twitch for example, gives money to the Tuvalu government.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That's incredible.
Oh yeah, I was talking about the average age in Niger was really low. That must be because of a high child mortality rate. Michael Scott here, I'm assuming the Michael Scott,
Yes.
wouldn't a high child mortality rate actually raise the average age? If more people lived as children, the average age is lower. I think it's more because when there is a high child mortality rate, people tend to have more children to offset that. That's the experience I had, and that was why I thought that.
I think that's what most people would do.
You have a really nice voice. I think it's wrong to say that Nauru is the worst at being a healthy weight. Nauru had the most obese and overweight people, I believe.
Oh, I thought that was like a king or something. That's a country. I thought you were like talking about a king being overweight momentarily.
That's such a specific thing to think.
I don't know.
It just sounds kingy. I forgot to include all of the underweight people as well as the overweight people. So fair oopsie. I'm not sure where the highest rates of anorexia are. My guess would be somewhere like America or something.
Intentional anorexia.
Oh god, you're right. There's a lot of places in Africa where it would be
Yeah.
less intentional. Too many oopsies to get to. Oh, someone said here, even though the Indonesian flag is simple, it still holds a deeper meaning. Red means courage, while white means purity. I'm not sure I'm big on symbolism in that sense.
Yeah, I don't agree that white is purity. I think that's very wrong.
So I'm Indonesian, and yeah, maybe our flag is a bit lackluster. We used to have a red, white, and blue flag. Hey, me too. And you, right?
Not my country.
But during the war with the Dutch, we stole our flag back and ripped off the blue part to make it our own, hence the boring red and white flag. Screw you, Dutch. We want our country back. So it used to be the Dutch flag, but then they ripped off the bottom part because they were like, you colonized us, screw you, we're gonna rip off your blue bit.
I guess that's understandable.
Yeah, that's a reasonable reason.
Fuck Libya.
No context at all.
They get no excuse.
The only reason to say fuck Gaddafi is because of that flag.
Okay, well, I gotta know if Libya has a reason.
It was the only national flag in the world with just one color and no design. It was chosen by Gaddafi to symbolize his political philosophy after his green book.
What is it to be fucking boring?
Those were the ones in the worst countries in the world. I did a video with Rumi where we play Google Feud. Rumi sneezes. Anyone, bless you, Dave. Is that your real sneeze? Jesus. Did you hear that?
How did you know exactly where that was? You watch Rumi sneeze, don't you?
Shut up.
No way.
I know, right?
No way.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable to have a response to that kind of sneeze. One of the mistakes I did make was I made a joke about Egypt.
They don't want to be enslaved and forced to make a pyramid. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, thank you. My 6,000-year-old references.
Apparently it's not a 6,000-year-old reference. And also, it was not slaves that built the pyramids, supposedly. It was well-paid engineers.
No, it wasn't.
Apparently, it wasn't 6,000, closer to 4,500, 5,000 round. Rooted firmly in popular imagination is the idea that the pyramids were built by slaves serving a merciless pharaoh. But graffiti from inside the Giza monuments themselves have long suggested something very different.
How do you incentivize that many people?
I guess if you're literally the ruler of everything and you can have them killed. There's also the incentive of like, this is a huge monument that people are building. Nothing has ever been built on this scale, so it's exciting for the engineers.
That's a good point. That would incentivize me a little bit.
Right, it's like, hey, do you want to build this big ass thing?
It's gonna be fucking sick. Fuck with your vision, bro.
But what does Harvard know? I made a joke, I'll stick by it. No oopsie. This was Corpse Husband. If you like horror narration, you might like him. He has a beautiful voice and a beautiful face and a knife.
Subscribe or I'll fucking kill you.
Oh my god.